I'm a liar, he's a liar, she's a liar, we some liars. Wouldn't you like to be a liar too? Like, for real. When you like to lie, lean in. I'm going to talk about my habit of lying and how I'm about to turn the corner. You ready? Let's get it. Hey, welcome to the prompt where curiosity might have killed the cat, but it will not kill the conversation. I'm your host, Damon Rich, the relationship GPT, and I want to jump into something very, very big. I want to talk about my lying habit, like telling a story habit, telling a fib more than a white lie habit. And man, this has somewhat been 30 years plus in the making. Well, I'm 48, so it's been 48 years in the making, or almost, to get to this place where I think I'm finally going to kick the habit of lying. And I really want you to lean into this because I don't want you to listen because I think you might be a liar, although it may be true. I want you to listen because I need your help. I want you to hold me accountable for discontinuing my behavior of lying. Something significant just happened in my life. Something big, something that I have been working on for 30 years. I finally graduated with my degree. I finally have my 4-year degree, and it only took me 30 years to get it. It's official today, January the 23rd, 2025. Damon Rich is a college graduate. And I get to walk soon. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Why did it take me so long? One of the reasons it took me so long to get my degree is because I'm a liar. A very good liar. So good of a liar that for years I deceived myself until I had an encounter with a great man who is also a therapist to help me identify not only that I am a liar, but why I lie. I need y'all because when you see me do or say things, I want you to hold me accountable. Whether you see it in person, you see me through social media, and I say something and I don't do it, I want you to hold me accountable. So let's talk about this degree I just got. It was hard for me to even go and get the degree. So when I decided to go back and get my degree, I told myself all type of hype stories of why I was doing it. And some of it was partially true. And you know what they say about deception, right? All deception has a little bit of truth in it. So my mother had passed away, and I wanted to do it in honor of her and my stepfather, who are key figures in my life. They push me to be great. I feel like I've achieved a level of greatness with God's help and by God placing them in my life to push me as well as other people. Shout out, shout out to my program mentor, Miss Pamela Beadler, who helped push me across this finish line. And she endured a little bit with you, boy, to get me there. But here's one of the things that I told myself. I'm doing it because I want to honor my parents. That sounded good when I said it. Sounded real good when I said it. But truth be told, my parents were proud of me whether I had a degree or not. And not just in that parently way. My stepfather, before he passed, told me, he said, son, you're the patriarch now. He was preparing me before he died to be the patriarch. He said, you're the patriarch now. And they were dealing with something with Medicare. He said, now we got to come to you for advice. And he was handing off the reins, and I wasn't really ready for it, but I didn't think he was going nowhere anytime soon either. And then he left, and I'm the patriarch. So he was already proud of me. He told me face to face that he's proud of me. And that's something that every son wants, whether it comes from your biological father or it comes from your stepfather. You want to hear that I am proud of you. And I not only got it from my stepfather, I also got it from my biological father before he passed. And I got it from my mother before she passed. So the truth is, they weren't my real motivators for going back. I just needed to tell Pamela something, right? And there was a truth to it, but that wasn't a good enough reason to keep me focused. So then it was about my children. I wanted to set a good example for my kids. Truth be told, my kids, all three of them, love them, very proud of them. One didn't graduate from college, but he has a great career. He's kind of gone the way of his pops in terms of developing a career in a non-traditional sense. I'm proud of him and everything that he's doing. Shout out, Michael. Love you, son. My daughter, she did graduate with her AA, and she also graduated from the Florida State University, which I'm a Miami Hurricane, so it hurt my feelings a little bit, but it is still a prestigious university for education, and she accomplished that. And I'm appreciative of that. Shout out to Shay. And then my youngest son is about to graduate from high school. God continues to bless him. And then he'll be going off to college, and we're trying to decide where he's going. And wherever he goes, I believe he's going to be great, and he's going to also achieve his goal. So they were on their paths. And while they honor their father, they look up to their father, they appreciate me as a father. Me getting a degree may or may not have any influence on them getting their degree. Shout out to DJ. That's my youngest. Don't y'all think I ain't gonna shout out all my kids. So not really for the kids. We've instilled enough in them for them to drive and go after their dreams and their goals and their ambitions. And if college is involved in that, to do that. College doesn't make them. Okay. So why? Well, man, it will be great for my career. Except I've been in the industry, in the healthcare industry, and the government, federal and state space, operating as a consultant and a fixer for years. And I have my own business, and I work in some unconventional ways to help people solve problems that are going to improve the overall part of their organization and their organizational goals and ambitions. I already do that, and I get paid pretty well to do it. So I don't need it for that. The truth is, when I enrolled in the college in 2019, I was doing it because I felt I need to do it, but I wouldn't know why I needed to finish until just last week. Just last week. So I finished my final paper. I had 2 papers. I finished the final 2 papers. They got graded. They were done. You're out of here. You're good to go. Man, I'm a college graduate as of today. But it started to sit with me even before I got the full confirmation that, man, you got this. This is yours. You get to start booking flights and booking hotels and headed out to walk across the stage and for your family to get to celebrate this moment with you. And might I tell you that I struggle sometimes being celebrated? I've always struggled with being celebrated. That's another episode for another time. But I get to do this thing. But why does it mean so much? Why does this moment mean so much? Well, in order to tell you that, I've got to pause and tell you another part of my story. Remember that great man that I mentioned, my therapist, shout out to Dr. Ken Fowler, who's no longer with us. Rest in peace, brother. This is probably one of the greatest therapists that I've ever encountered in my life. And he helped me unlock a lot of hidden pain, but also hidden potential, hidden boldness to do what I need to do to succeed and to build the things that I believe that God has placed me in the earth to build and to do and execute upon. So Dr. Fowler, while I was in therapy with him doing EMDR, we talked about, like, you kind of tell when you deal with an experience and you're going through EMDR and you're talking, and it's like, how did I feel? And one of the times I said, I feel like my words are not believed. I feel like a liar. And we explored that. And it had to do with some incidents that happened within my childhood where I felt like I should have been believed. And it was some of those times like, now, I'm a kid. I've been a kid. And I was a full kid. I did all the lying and the mischievous stuff, right? But there's some times where I needed to be believed. And not only was I not believed, I was punished severely in some instances because I was made to believe or believed to be a liar. It's one of the reasons I teach my kids. I said, here's the bad thing about lying. One day you're going to need someone to believe you and they won't. That's the really bad thing about lying, among other things and other reasons. So it's best to just tell the truth. Tell the truth at all cost. That can be challenging sometimes because of our human nature. I get it. But you want to tell the truth at all costs so that when you need people to believe you, they can. So I was in that and I was talking with Dr. Fowler, and he says, well, I said, I have this habit that I rather just execute on something than to tell you I'm going to do it. Drives my wife insane. You don't talk to me and you don't tell me what's going on and what you're doing. And what I get it. Anyone that's following me is going to drive me insane because I just like to execute. And the reason I like to execute is because, and I was telling Dr. Fowler this, I feel like once I say it, I'm not going to do it. And he said, that's because you've been told that you can't trust you. You've been told repeatedly, and it's been enforced through whoopings and other punishments, that if you say something, it's not truth and it's going to cause a consequence. So you'd rather just put the proof out there and let the proof speak for itself than to say something. And if by chance, for even valid reasons, you don't live up to it, you don't want to deal with the punishment for not living up to what you said you were going to do. So you believe yourself to be a liar, and therefore you don't trust your own words. So once you say it, you don't even believe it. Here's the crazy thing about it. I believe more in other people than I can believe in myself. I can do for others what I don't do for myself. I can help you build and be great, but I will struggle to apply those same principles and build and be great for myself. I will help you market the heck out of whatever you're doing, give you a strategy. You'll go off and you'll come back and execute the strategy that I told you, and you'll get the results that I told you were going to get. And then I will be sitting there, you're sitting there in awe, and I'm like, I was never in doubt. And I never was in doubt. But if I had said the same thing to myself, I'd be full of doubt. So I like to move in silence. That way, if I don't do it, you never know about it. But if I do it, then you see the fruit of it. So he told me that just comes from not being believed. So I have a hard time believing in myself. There are other people who believe in me more than I believe in me. It's crazy, ain't it? So here's the thing. I got into therapy. Dr. Fowler revealed that. He helped me understand it, helped me unpack it. And I've just still not been able to fully move on it. Hey, you're going to go to the gym this week and you're going to start to get in shape. You're going to eat better. You're not going to stop by Dairy Queen and get the blizzard. You're going to not have the hamburger and the french fries all the time. And as soon as I say it out my mouth, I ain't doing it. But if I just hop up and go to the gym, just hop up and make better food choices, those types of things, then I execute. Okay. So going back to this degree is more than a piece of paper. And the reason it is more than a piece of paper is because it represents the first time in a long time that I said something to myself, or at least it feels like a long time, that I said something to myself and I kept my word to myself. Can anyone else relate to that? I want you to comment or DM me or whatever. If you can relate to that there's something that you've done recently that is the first time in a long time that you kept your word to you. Tell me how that felt. And if you haven't experienced that lately, tell me how you're feeling. And what can I do to help you get to the place where you are keeping your word to yourself? See, when we lie to ourselves, it impacts God's ability to pour through us what he has for the rest of the earth from us. I want you to get that. Because here's the thing. Over the years, I've been having this battle and didn't even realize it until I'm in therapy. And then I realized what it meant when God said to me one time, more than one time, he said, son, what else do I have to do to prove that I'm with you? Take note of the rooms that I've placed you in. Rooms that other people felt they needed a degree to be in. But I brought you in those rooms. And not only did I bring you in those rooms, I allowed you to be effective in those rooms. Hold on. I didn't send you off you didn't go off to seminary and Bible college, but I've given you some of the deepest revelations to help my people and to help yourself and to help your family, that people who have spent years in seminary still haven't unlocked. What else do I have to do to prove that I'm with you? The other day, I was doing an interview with the Jim Moran Institute of Entrepreneurship, and it was a very interesting video or very interesting interview. And when the video drops, I'll be sharing that for sure. Very interesting conversation. But here I am, just little country boy sitting here talking to this professor that I've developed a friendship with, and just giving him some insight on some things. You want information from little old me. That could be an opportunity for my head to blow up, but it actually is humbling. You want information. You think I can add value to what you're doing? And he's like, yeah, I'm talking to you because I believe you have something valuable that will help entrepreneurs. And I think that your way of thinking about things and the things that we have in common, God did all of that. So this degree has nothing to do with that type of access. God's already done that for me. Matter of fact, at one point, I feel like, I can't say I heard this directly from the Lord, but I feel like at one point the Lord was saying, one of the reasons I can't let you have a degree, son, because you're already very confident. I'm afraid you'll go to arrogant with a degree. Because then that one thing that people keep looking or overlooking you for, where they kind of question what you know until they put it to the test because you don't have a piece of paper, then the level of confidence that you'll have might go to braggadocious, and I can't have that. So I got to get you to a place of humility before I can allow you to have this victory. That's what I feel like the Father was talking to me as a son about, right? But if God can't get us to trust that he has our back, then we have a major problem. So when I went to the Jim Morant Institute and I was doing the interview, there was a question that was asked, and this was my response to the question. The question was kind of leaving some final thoughts and nuggets. And one of the things I said is be authentic, be who you are. And I said, I'm going to give you a real time example. And so on that day, man, I was on the interview like this, got on the glasses, got on the hat, had on a different hat, had on my hoodie. And I said, man, look, this is what I mean about authenticity. I say it wasn't many years ago that I wouldn't have dared show up to be a part of this episode and to be a part of this interview dressed like this. I said, but I am so comfortable in my own skin and I believe in the talent and the wisdom that has been poured into me that I give to others, that I just have to show up as me. And when I show up as me, you're going to get the best. See, that's what I want you to understand that God had to try and get through to me is when you show up as who I made you to be. Anyone that interacts with you is going to get the best because it's not going to be filtered. It's not going to be watered down. When you show up authentically as you, as who I made you to be, they're going to get the best. And here's the thing. Don't let everyone sip. That doesn't mean you don't be the authentic you. It just means that you know when to put the cap on the lid. I'll tell you. Because they're not in a position to sip from what I poured inside of you. Now, I want you to get this. This degree, more than a piece of paper, it's the start of a new trend, a new behavior for me that I can trust what God has placed in me and therefore I can trust myself. Not trust the man of Damon, but trust the Spirit of God that is in me. And if I can do that, so can you. I want you to just start with one thing. It can be minor. It can be that I'm going to wake up 30 minutes earlier. It can be that I'm going to read one scripture a day. It can be that I'm going to have at least one healthy snack a day. I don't care how minor it is. Just choose something that you have lied to you about and start chipping away at it piece by piece. Each day, working on keeping your word to yourself. And if you have a day that you break that promise, don't scold yourself so much as examine, why did I break it today? What limiting belief popped up that caused me to break my word to me today? Then address that and keep it moving. Listen, I want you to just ask yourself this question as we do this exercise and we get ready to come to a close. What's one promise you made to yourself that you haven't kept? If you want to share it with me, you can drop it in the comments. If you want to share it with me privately, you can DM me. I'm on IG, I'm on Facebook, and you can tell me that. And I'll walk with you in accountability. And let's hold each other accountable. But what is that one promise? Let's just start with one. Don't bite off the big one unless you're ready to. But let's just start with one. Let's just start with one. And I want you to hold yourself to it. And on the days that you do great, send me a message, drop me a message. I made this promise to myself today and I kept it. Or I made this promise to myself today and I broke it again. And I'm going to respond and we're going to talk and we're going to be accountable. I know I need to build a community. I get it. But let's just start where we are. If you tell me the promise and you ready to be held accountable, I'm going to reach out and hold you accountable. I got time today and tomorrow because it's my purpose to not only become the best version of myself, but to help others do the same. Now, listen, I want you to remember this as we leave. Remember, change starts in the mind, it penetrates the heart, it shows up in the body. Let's keep disrupting the status quo, challenging the narrative, and upsetting the algorithm together. Until the next time, stay curious, stay bold, and I'll see you on the next episode. God bless.